Test. Okay, bet. Hello. Okay. Hope I'm clear. Hope I'm heard. Wanted to get a stream going. I know I have not been around for a while. I mean, so much just going on in my life. Hopefully you guys can understand. Honestly, the way work be most of the time really doesn't permit me to have time to stream, especially because YouTube requires a lot more dedication, I feel, to properly do it right than when I originally became a YouTuber, which shoot is a good thing. I mean, quality is gonna stand out every single day of the week. So I mean, it's always good to see so many creators having grown to new heights, and maybe one day I'll make it. But for the time being, I'm just hanging in there. This team is a team I made that Ruben's using. Such a fun team. I really do love this tier, and that's what we're gonna talk about mainly today. Is gonna be Ubers, UU Ubers, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, I mean that's mainly what we're gonna be talking about today, and should be a blast. I think this tier has a lot of potential. I find it to be a complete joy to play. I find it not to have tremendous flaws. I do find it to have a better metagame than OU currently, because it embraces, I would say, the power creep of that Game Freak has put upon us. To have a metagame where Diaga, Palkia, Chiyu, Spectria, and even little Dolphin can be around and be viable. It's fantastic. Is there a Discord? Yes, there's a Discord for Uber's UU, and I will link it. Let's see. Let me find the link for you real quick. Let me do it on my phone. But yeah, if you guys got any questions about the tier, we're gonna discuss it, and I may play a couple games. I think I mainly just wanted to talk about the tier and just overall, give people, an idea and a view on it. As I feel like it definitely deserves a lot of respect, and shout out to Kind Squared and everything that Mans has pulled off. It's truly phenomenal how really took it to another level. Really took it to another level, and deserves all the respect, and should be given tons of respect for what he has accomplished. So that's what I mainly want to say on that. And for all the people saying, "Oh, well, it reminds you of bandless Ubers." Yeah, I mean, we did do this before. We did it years ago, and it was an amazing thing. And how they're doing it is different, and objectively the better way. They're going strictly off of usage, and as you know, Smogon loves its usage. And I'm gonna play this game in the background while we talk. And yeah, I mean, I think okay, so here's the thing. I think that this tier really is team builder friendly. I feel like as a team builder, you can be extremely creative and come up with different ideas, and there's so many viable Pokemon, along with the fact that there's polarizing figures like Arceus, Magearna that's able to cover up the flaws of the not so viable Pokemon per se. For example, like this team has a Dolphin, it also has an Arceus Fire, Dragapult, Zamazenta, Dialga Spectre, like scary mons. And Dolphin is there basically just to set up rocks, to keep hazards off for Arceus Fire, and it has red card sturdy, so it's not able, you can't safely set up on it unless, of course, you break the red card. And even then, we have a Dialga with Roar in the back just in case it's something that, you know, isn't easily handled by any other mons. Any of the other mons. They got Cursed Dragapult with T-Wave. Even after it sets its screens, is able to, you know, pressure out dangerous mons that are setting up on it with a curse, and it's losing that health rapidly over and over again. We got Taunt Spectre. Like, you have to still build a proper team. You cannot, I feel like, just bring whatever 6, roll the dice, and feel like you're going to get a W. That's, generally speaking, not going to work. You still have to put together a legit team. You have to respect the common threats in the tier. You really have to treat it like a regular tier. You really shouldn't, I would say, just casually walk through and feel like it's going to work. It's not going to work. But man, there's so many fun things. There's so many fun things in this tier. There's so many things that also, you know, we have to see how things work out. I mean, especially with it catching the eyeballs of, you know, Smoke on it, and now being an unofficial tier. There's going to be a larger player base. There may be calls for certain things to be looked at that previously weren't. I'm really curious to see what other players, you know, do. You know, what other players use. Every single play style, quote unquote, is viable. You got sand, you got rain, you got sun, HO, screens, terrain, trick room, stall, balance, bulky offense. So many different play styles are viable, and I think that's really dope. I think that's amazing, and I think any tier really should be aiming for that. Now, I will say some flaws. I do think that, you know, I mentioned stall and balance being viable, and they are. I mean, you can get some amazing matchups, but they do have the flaw, of course, of right now, for example, Houndstone is in the tier. I don't know how long Houndstone is in the tier. It may stick around because it's not extremely easy to use, but it is extremely scary to face, especially, of course, when you're down to your last mine. Then, you know, you got to start running like stuff like Terra Normal and things. Like, one thing I feel like, there's a couple things, like, when it comes to building this tier, I feel like you always got to have a Terra Normal mon, just because of Houndstone. I feel like you may even have, depending on how the teams, we may always have to have a Terra Dark mon because of Esperada, unless, you know, of course, you have proper phasing capabilities on the team. I mean, this goes for any tier. I feel like, I mean, just the way I build, generally speaking, like, I feel like you're always going to want to have a ground. You don't want to make Volt Switch so easy to spam. And then you're always going to have a flying type because you don't want to, of course, make E-Quake spam so easy. Which is another reason why I love Dolphin. I mean, like, so many teams don't have a safe, like, E-Quake switch in. I mean, because the only really prevalent mon that's really going to be spamming ground attacks is Landorus Garchomp, I'm trying to increase in viability. Like, right now, if you go to the viability of the tier, you're gonna see that Garchomp right now is, I think, B. And honestly, it needs to go up to A minus, or at least B plus. I've been messing around with Focus Sash and also Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet's really good for handling things like Arceus Fire to an extent, because, and I say to an extent because Arceus Fire can recover off recoil. It can turn into a Terra Normal sweeper potentially with E-Speed. So it's not the 100% best counter in the world, but it's pretty good in most cases. And then, shoot, what else do I want to say? I forget what I want to say about Arceus Fire. I mean, we're going to just go through this game that Ruben won, you know, a tournament game. Comes in on the Wisp. SDs, catches the Dark Pulse, and he gets flinched. That's unfortunate. Turns Terra Fairy, gets flinched again. Nasty plots. How did Ruben pull this off? Got Wisp. Yeah. Okay, I see how that happened now. I'm about to say, like, this. Oh, did he get? I'm so confused. How was this even won? Oh, the defense drop would have crit. Okay, well that bend should have happened. And then decided. That's I don't know why the dude terrored. That's crazy. Zamazenta's amazing. Yeah, Zamazenta Crown's really good. The Iron Defense set. I mean, I feel like Zamazenta regular is really good too. I mean, you're gonna go with Crown because of that big fairy resist that it presents with the steel typing. So it's neutral to Zacian's like play rough. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Zamazenta Hero is just as good. I mean, specifically because someone is able to speed tie with the monster set that is Zacian. And as you guys can see, Zacian is S minus, along with Arceus Poison, Arceus Dark, and Palkia Origin. Magearna is in its league of its own because it really is the best mon in the tier. And it's no surprise that you guys would see me loving a tier that has Magearna as the best mon, because as you guys know, I love Magearna as a Pokemon. And I'm always a big fan of seeing it viable in competition. I just think it's literally any team builder's dream Pokemon. You're able to be so creative in the team builder with it, and it can really patch up a lot of flaws with your team. It can make your team even more elite. Like there's so many different things that you can do. It truly is a special mon. Truly is a special mon. Checking on some of these tour games. We got council member Doran in the game. As far as OU, we banned Sneasler. Yeah, fantastic thing for the tier to remove it. I mean, as you guys may know, as of now, I voted personally for it to be suspected because, objectively speaking, I didn't think it was quick ban worthy. I felt that if we, for some weird reason, didn't quick ban Gliscor and we suspected Gliscor, then I just find that you can't justify then quick banning Sneasler, because there's no way that, at least in my opinion, that Sneasler is more busted than Gliscor was when it was in the tier. So I felt like Suspect was the easy choice. But my other tier mates did not feel the same. I also think it was because the tier is coming to, well, at least I won't say the tier's coming to a close, but this version per se, this cycle is coming to a close with DLC dropping in like a couple weeks. Why did this Terra steal? That's such an interesting Terra. Is the answer to your question, player? Yeah, basically, yeah. Anything that's used heavy in Ubers, you will not see it in the tier. You won't see Lando T. You won't see Tinglu. You won't see Skulladurge. You won't see Iron Tredge. You won't see Groudon. Like Giratina. Like things that you could arguably be like, oh, this is probably fine for Uber's UU, but you won't see it because of the fact of the usage. I mean, this is strictly going off of usage. So that's why, you'll see things like regular Zacian and Palkia O being so high in the tier, because as much as these Pokemon, like, you of course could easily make the case that Lando T is more balanced in this tier than Palkia O is, but because of the fact that, Lando T is heavily used in Ubers, you won't see it here. Now, when DLC 2 drops, of course, and depending on what legendaries are added from that, or if any are at all, there will naturally be some tier changes, and you will see some mons shuffle in and out based on that. And shoot, even before that, you may see some mons return. You may see Gira return. You may see Dondozo return. Dondozo returning to the tier honestly would be a big deal to the tier. It would be a big help to stall in certain balances, for example. So yeah, you may see it come back. But yeah, I mean that's all I have to say on that. Let's see. Opens in a game. But yeah, I mean, so back to the sneeze quick ban. So yeah, I mean, it's the route that the council decided to go. Completely understandable. And now, right now, we're in a sticky situation because we have the player base basically. I don't want to say at a crossroads, but like legit not sure what to do. And the reason why I say that is because, as I said earlier, we're coming to an end basically. And with us coming to an end, some people are like, "Is there a point to some of this?" Which I don't fault people for having that question. It is a objectively fair question to ask. That Terrifier was pretty nice, and this is kind of a problem. Of course, I think what is this at? This is at 100 poisons around. Yeah, I'm like pretty certain there's no way that this can be won. Well, actually, no, because Palfin's gonna come in. You have to go. Oh, he just sacks it. I wouldn't have sacked it, but I was gonna say you have to go Crowned here because at least Crown will take it, force it out, and then you probably gotta pivot to Diagla to apply some offensive pressure. Probably don't let Spectre die, so that can be at least some speed control potentially. Cause like objectively, this should beat you. Oh, flamethrower. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't ever win this. Dang, that's kind of crazy. If it didn't sub, it would have won 1v1. But sub's the right play because of Wisp being a popular thing on this. I will say though, I don't know. The fact that he's running flamethrower is kind of interesting. So this balloon's gonna get popped, which should do it. The Lando T should wrap this up. Let's see. So yeah, for example, some Arceus forms are banned. Arceus Normal, Arceus Fairy, Arceus Ground are banned, and then some are banned by just being too much for the tier. I didn't look at the usage stats, but I'm pretty sure like Flying, Steel, and maybe even Water was banned because of just being too much for the tier. Shaman Sky was banned for being too much for the tier. Which should really come as no surprise to anyone who has ever used Shaman Sky. It's just Flinch City. Removes any fun or competitive, any competitive notion from the game. So, right decision there. I was added to the council. I'm pretty sure right after that Shaman quick ban. And so the only tiering action that I've been a part of is the question of if Zacian should be suspect, quick banned, or no action. I was one of the 3 people that voted that it should be suspected, based on the simple fact that I feel like I wanted to put that in the decision in the hands of the people. I wanted to see, of course, this tier go through its first suspect. It would be a good thing, to see tiering action. To see, I would say, see the player base engaged in tiering, and to feel like their voice really matters, because because there's been no suspect yet, every single tiering action that's been done for this tier has been through the council. And excuse me guys if I keep clearing my throat, I'm kind of under the weather. Hi Leo. So Zacian, of course, did not get quick ban or did not get suspected because majority of the council felt like it was okay for the tier, which, you can have your discussions about it. I'm perfectly, okay with that. I understand. I feel like the biggest issue with Zacian just comes down to the Terra, like what it's able to do with Terra. It's really dumb when it Terra grounds and Terra fires, because we as a tier really depend on Megirna to handle it on most play styles. and just in general, Magearna's usage is absurd. You're gonna face it basically every other game with it basically either having 50% usage or nearing 50% usage. And so it being able to get past Magearna, it being able to get past like Slowking Galar, it being able to get past Arceus Fire with relatively ease, and then you're left with, okay, how do I revenge it? And revenging options really get very small very quickly. If you don't have a Palafin like band, you're in a pretty tricky spot. I mean, like for example, on a team of mine, my mentality where is it here with this team? I was like, okay, as you can see, I have max defense Magearna, and I also have Terra Flying on it. So like two things. I'm like, okay, if I'm in a situation for some weird reason, Palkia is dead. I can Terra. If they SD on my Magearna, most likely, they're gonna turn around the next turn, so I can, encore them, and then they're forced out. They lose that attack boost as well. So that's fantastic for me. But I'm like, I'm gonna need a mon that's gonna be able to revenge that Terra and that Zacian. And so Palkia is basically one of the only Scarfers that can do that. And you, generally speaking, won't see Palkia, the regular version. You'll generally speaking see Palkia O in the tier. But Palkia's regular is just as good as far as I'm concerned, and more so in the utility aspect of it, not of course as far as power goes. And that's because of you can run heavy duty boots if you like on a trick room. You can run choice scarf as you see on this team, and you can I've even messed around with AV on a trick room before, and that's been successful. Of course, it being able to have that item slot free, unlike with Palkia O, which is probably literally its only flaw. So yeah, I mean, it's literally one of the only things that is not priority based that can revenge a Zacian once it's Terra Fire, Terra Ground. What's up, guys? So you need a webs. Yeah, so I'm known for having made webs. I am messing around with this. I've been trying to make webs work. So Zacian's another reason why webs, like for example, webs doesn't, like, it's hard to make webs work, and I'm still working on it. And of course there's sun and rain, so much you have to account for. This was the current thing I had, but it's not honestly. Listen, I don't like losing. So, if I'm not going 10-0 or going on runs with teams, it's generally speaking not going to meet my standards. But yeah, I mean, this team's honestly probably fine. You will win games with it. No, it is fine. Like, you will win games with it, but it just doesn't meet my standards. So it's just not, it honestly doesn't even need a name. It needs to go back and work in progress. I thought it was good, and then I forgot what I faced. But I think I faced Chiyu Scarf. And I just wasn't ever able to get my webs up in the game. Oh, I remember. It was okay. So it was a trick room team with Scarf Chiyu in the back, and I didn't set my webs because I'm like, well, there's no point in me setting up webs. It's a trick room team, and I thought that the Chiyu was gonna be just modest, specs, and then it benefits from the trick room. But then it was Scarf, and of course, once I realized that, I had so many other things to deal with because it's Sticky Web. It doesn't want to. It's an offensive team. It doesn't want to face. Trick Room to begin with, and then he has to face Scarf Chi. Basically, that team was like the best counter team that you possibly could ever come up with for HO technically. But yeah, anyway, what that game showed me is that this team is annoyed by Chiyu, so I just scraped it in my head. I just don't like that. In fact, I just don't like that on my team. So, my first impression is I'm scrambling for a ground type. Yeah, I mean, that's why I really love Garchomp, and I'm pretty high on it. More, it's already on 3 of my teams that are successful in the tier. Yeah, I'm pretty high on Garchomp. I feel like it's underrated. Okay, Leo. Let's see. Why is the cutoff 452? That is before me. I believe it's just to make it similar to the cutoff for UU, like OUB. And then High Sword. I think I already said High Sword. My bad if I didn't. I tried to cook with magic room to turn items off so webs works. Oh yeah. It was you, man. Yeah. I got cooked. And so that was that on that. But yeah, as you see, I'm working on other things. I mean, we'll see. So my biggest issue, honestly, when it comes to the tier, it's great. It really doesn't have a lot of issues, but Palkia O is really the thing that really gives me the most grievances. I'm really indifferent on it. I think it kind of completely kills balance. You really don't have switch-ins for it. Stall does actually have a switch-in because of Blissey, but my thought process is, if you have Palkia on your team and you have it designed to be a balance breaker, there's not much that stops you from okay, there's a lot of cases. You are less apprehensive to run something like Dragon Tail than you would be in like OU, for example. And let me explain why. There's so many things in this tier that need to be phased out, like Calm Mind Arceus. And that's not even, I should stop it there because that's like a very big one. Iron Defense Zamazenta. Of course, that's going to be the sub variant, so then the subs one would just, of course, sub. Common switch-ins to what's the thing called? Blissey, like not being able to come in. Like Dragon Tail legit has viability. Esprata, of course, if it's not Terra Fairy. I've seen Iron Moth running around. I've seen Volcarona running around. Arceus Fire. There's legitimate reasons to be running Dragon Tail. The reason why my mind switched to Roar is, for example, one of my first successful team, the first team I built for this tier. I had Arceus Dragon on it, and I used to have a Dragon Tail because I'm like, oh my god, these Dragon Tail with Draco Plate. Ooh, imagine chip 20% each time. and it was good. It was good. But I switched it to Roar because Magearna runs this tier, and I simply wanted to keep chipping Magearnas. So when Magearna comes in, I wanted to, especially if we got full spikes and rocks up, I wanted to take a clean 20 plus, close to 30 like each time it comes in. So roar that sucker right out. Dragon Tail being able to avoid, for example, a taunt from an Arceus form, and still get phased out is phenomenal. So, the point of that long tangent was I don't even think Blissey is like the safest thing for Palkia O. And so yeah, I find Palkia O to be really troublesome. But one of the reasons why you don't see a team from me with Palkia O and one of the reasons why Zacian I feel like is still in this tier and the player base the council did not want to remove is because of Palkia. Like Zacian is amazing in forcing it out. But it is troublesome and pretty annoying, honestly, the fact that Zacian's like one of the very few things that is able to outspeed Palkia O, and also that's why you'll see. Let's see. On this team, I have Zacian. On this team, I did have Zacian, but of course, it's still work in progress. But as you can see on my HO offensive builds, like I'm making sure to include Zacian because it's literally the best thing that you can use when it comes to just checking Palkia O. But it's so dumb. It's so you never want to use broken checks as far as tiering. That's not the proper way to tier. But it really is like a checking broken type of situation, kind of like at the top ranks. The funny thing is Magearna is S, and that's like the okay. So the funny thing is Arceus Fire, like these Arceus forms with Palkia O and Zacian, like these mons right here are arguably dumber for the tier than Magearna is at S. Like Magearna is arguably out of those, what was that, like 1, 2, 3, out of those 5, and then if you add of course Magearna 6, are those 6? Magearna's like you hug Magearna when you see, oh Magearna, thank you so much, I appreciate you. The other ones, they just some uncle that stayed over for Thanksgiving that you really didn't want to come over, but he, still there. Like they can be really overwhelming. They can be really overwhelming, and you have to play particular. There's a recent video that got uploaded. Shout out to I didn't get to finish it yet because I wanted to hop on with you guys before it got really loud, because in Jamaica right now, like I'm basically right next to like stadium, so it's always loud and it will get loud later tonight. But what was I gonna say? Pink Cross played this game where they thought they really had it in the bag, and then they stated, which is understandable, they underestimated Arceus' bulk, because if you're not playing Arceus every day, you're gonna underestimate Arceus' bulk, because Pink is a OU player. It's not like Mans is running into Arceus forms. Let's be clear. Anyway, and so next thing you know, it started SDing, it started recovering, and Mans started scrambling, and got reverse swept when the game was like really within their hands. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this tier, you really can't fall asleep at the wheel. You gotta be really smart. But yeah, I will say I'm really curious. The more people pick this tier up, the more active this tier is. Of course, now being on the main server, I'm really serious if a lot of busted strats get like revealed. Because for example, when I saw that golf was allowed, I saw like Doug Trio was allowed, I was like, that doesn't seem healthy, but okay. And I mean, arguably, I saw GarageBand was number 1 with golf earlier, which again, a Pokemon that doesn't let you switch out can really never be healthy. But the tier is so offensive, and it's not like an easy day for golf. It's fine so far, but again, like, wait, I feel like I keep scrolling by it. I'm not used to this. Yeah, it's still number 1. Yeah, but yeah, so like things like that, it's like, okay, I wonder if golf's gonna be ridiculous. I wonder if Doug Trio is gonna be ridiculous. And specifically, golf gets more ridiculous, and Doug Trio, for example, they get better as Pokemon the slower the tier becomes. Like the more the tier gets condensed, maybe we can even use the words more balanced if you want, the better those Pokemon become, and the more they get out of hand. So we'll see. I'm really interested. Another thing I'm interested in is Arceus forms in general. Another thing that came to my mind when I first joined, of course, and I mean, I've been the server, and I've been even like watching in the trenches. Like I wasn't like I wasn't making my own teams actively playing. But another thing that was interesting to me is like, okay, can Arceus forms actually be okay? Because when we were doing BL Ubers, we ended up banning basically every single Arceus form except I think Bug stuck around. But to be fair, it was a lot less power creep because we did it like I think 2 generations ago. So there was a lot less power creep than there is now. So it's kind of a check thing, like it's okay, quote unquote. And then we also had a lot more viable hazard control options. Whereas, for example, fire is, if anything, kept in check by how vulnerable it is to hazards. So, like, for example, player just brought up, I like the look of DD Arceus Fire. It looks very appealing, and then you use it, and that's literally the reason why I have Dolphin on this team, because I was like, okay, Arceus Fire, because Arceus Fire was like, when I first came, was like kind of under the discussion of being like suspected. I'm just like, well, it makes sense to me. When I was playing some early games, but then I quickly like just prepping for it, and just like I was like, this is so susceptible to hazards. Like it's continuously easily to get bogged down to the point where if the opponent is gonna have to recover. Because when I was first building, I was just like, why isn't anyone just running a dragon? Like I was thinking in the mindset, well, if I would just run a dragon move, because I was like, okay, Palkia doesn't seem like, because I'm thinking like once it gets that DD up, because being objectively speaking, like you just have to really think about everything going bad, like you getting hacks that are like when you're building Pokemon, like you really can't think everything's gonna go my way. That's just not the game we play. You need to think of the mindset of like everything's gonna go bad and just do as best as you can. And so my thing was like, well, what really stops this thing? I was like, well, why would you not run a dragon move? Like I don't think our Garchomp Pocket really measures for it. And then actually actively playing the tier, I noticed, okay, even if you wanted to run a dragon move, because you objectively could run a dragon move and pull it off, You still have you have Terra's backup, right? You have Terra's background to slow it down, but at the same time, Arceus Fire is dealing with those hazards. So a lot of players are going to are going to go back to, okay, I'd rather have longevity, and can you blame them? It's Arceus form. You want to have as much longevity as you can with Arceus form. I will say one thing I respect about this tier. Another thing is like, it is not a tier where you have to use Arceus to be successful in this tier. Not every single team is like mandated to have an Arceus. Like, as you can see, that's a work in progress. But this team that's good does not have an Arceus. This team that's good does not have an Arceus. That have Arceus on that, and this one doesn't have Arceus. Like, you don't need an Arceus form to do well. But anyway, point being is back to why I have Dolphin on this team. Yes, so Dolphin sets up rocks. It spins off rocks. It has red card sturdy, which is phenomenal for this offensive metagame. You cannot really go wrong with it, honestly. And I'm glad I'm seeing this game. And here's another thing. Chiyu, it's not broken technically, but it's really dumb, and it honestly is on my radar because it's really dumb as far as building teams, as far as I'm concerned. But it's just like Arceus Fire, whereas the best version of it is Scarf, and it is hindered by hazards. That's really what it comes down to. I find Chiyu to be just as dumb as it was in OU. It's kind of a little bit better. It's able to come in on so much. It's able to take out so much. It's able to revenge so much. It's a dumb mon. It's stupid. It's always been stupid. And if anything, this is just a reminder of why this can never come back to OU. It's such a dumb mon. But we'll see. It's one of those mons where, okay, let me make my we'll see radar. Cause I'm not saying that these are broken now, but it's one of those things where, like, if you guys tell me like in a week, I'm gonna be like, well, this doesn't surprise me at all. Chiyu, it's not number one, but Palkia O is weird. I will say this. I'm not sure if you guys have experienced. I mean, me personally, Palkia O is weird. I have not built a team. Let me backtrack. I have attempted to build a team with Palkia O. Here's my thing every single time I build a team with Palkia O. Number one, because of the Illustrious Globe, I have to make sure that I run proper hazard control as far as I'm concerned. I do not want to run a Palkia O team that is weak to hazards. I see a lot of teams do that, and that's why, no offense to those teams, but I end up winning the game versus them because they do not have proper hazard control. Number two, if you're using Palkia O, that means you already have your water type and your dragon type, generally speaking, chosen. And guess what? That means you are already weak to opposing Palkia O. That's my biggest thing, is every single time I get into the team builder and I'm like, okay, I want to use Palkia O. My team, I'm like, so what am I using again to check Palkia O, to revenge Palkia O? Okay, next thing, Zacian, which is dumb, and that's why it's going to be added to this list. Zacian. So, alright, I have my Palkia O. Zacian comes in. I switch out my Palkia O. They SD, because here's the reality. Even if I pump, surf, whatever, I'm not going to take it out unless I Terra Water. Two, why the heck would I stay in with my Palkia O in front of a Zacian? And three, whatever countermeasure I'm going to go to, they probably got a Terra to handle it, so free SD for life. Like, oh, so annoying. So Palkia O is just a frustrating mon. It's very hard to... So let me just show you something real quick. So Palkia O build goes like this. I go Palkia O, and then I go best hazard removal, Cyclozar, alright? And then I go, okay, Zacian, because I need to have a way to actually revenge Palkia O, okay? So as you can see, great Pokemon, amazing Pokemon. In fact, right now, so far, no Pokemon on this team is lower than A+. Great team. Okay, cool. And then I add Magearna, right? Okay, oh, and then you're like, whoo, you're cooking, NJ. And it's like, this looks great. But then you think to yourself, wait a second. I have 2 slots remaining. And I now have to figure out how I am going to handle Trick Room, Sun, and Rain, because let's be clear, once again, as I said earlier, if you have Pacquiao on your team, that means you've already picked your, generally speaking, your water and your dragon type. So you may be like, you think to yourself, how am I going to handle Pacquiao on that rain team? This is not a switch-in. This is not a switch-in. This is not a switch-in. And this is a speed tie. So it just becomes very annoying very quickly. And then you got to think, Trick Room. How do I handle Ursaluna? Well, that's right. I don't handle Ursaluna. My entire team is going to get 6-0 by Ursaluna if I do run into it. That's fantastic. That's amazing. Then you got to go, what is my Chiyu switch-in? Oh, I don't have a Chiyu switch-in because Chiyu is dumb. So it gets real frustrating because, okay, even if you make this, like, if you make this your physically defensive wall, cool. That's your physically defensive wall. But then what about Pacquiao? Oh, so if you make this your especially defensive wall, then what? Okay, cool. Pacquiao's kind of handled, not in rain, but it's kind of handled. And then you gotta figure out what else you're going with. It just with the 2 remaining mons, it's frustrating because even if you go, okay, I got this. Let's say you added a let's say, all right, like an Arceus poison, right? Arceus poison. Okay, your Ursaluna problem is still very, very major. You know. Then it becomes the speed control, and it's like, okay, this is handled. But what do I do about Arc Fire with SD? Pacquiao isn't reliable enough. They can just Terra Norma E-Speed and drop me off. And then what, right? Arceus Poison is gonna help me with that. So anyway, it's just a lot. It's just a lot to think of it and account for it. And Pacquiao, as much as I respect it as a mon, and it's so dumb, it's not easy to build with, honestly. And so I feel like, if anything, that's one hindrance against it. So, oh, look at Volcarona being dumb. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of fun. Like, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of ridiculous team builds going around. It's gonna be a lot of, we're gonna see some things get exposed. I feel like Azu finna carry. Yeah, I mean Azu's so interesting, right? Because when you look on paper, when you look at the tier, you look at what's good in the tier, and you look at Azu, you're like, oh snap, Azu really must be it. Where's Azu even ranked on that? It's B-. Because the reality is, this tier overwhelms the crap out of Azu. Azu's only going to take on one of these bad boys at best. You can run AV if you want, but if you're running AV, your damage output's garbage because, again, Magirna's like a fantastic physically defensive wall right now in this tier. So like your liquidation is going to do damage, but it's not really, it's kind of laughable. And so even then, let's say you just run to Arceus Poison that's defensive, you're doing no damage, it's just recovering it off. So then you're like, okay, I must run Belly Drum. Well, then you're just getting revenged by Arceus Grass, you're getting revenged by Rillaboom, you're getting revenged by Diagonal, like you're getting revenged by even Palkia depending on how low you get. Like it's not sweet. It's not sweet for Azu. As much as like on paper, I've even thought about it like on like a Trick Room build. Azu. But when it really gets down to the nitty gritty, it's okay. It's okay. It's not amazing. See, look at this ridiculous mon. Look at this. This is what I'm saying. Like Rain. Like I don't love Rain in this tier, but that doesn't make it any less scary. It's still so scary. Especially with Palkia. Honestly, a good thing is that what was I gonna say? I didn't mean to do that. That the forms that are I'm saying I know, like, and you guys supposed to know either. That flame body was so lucky. What am I supposed to call them? Basque Legions. So lucky that they're banned. We're so lucky. See, this is what I'm talking about. Zacian's so dumb. This is what I'm talking about. This is not Scarf, so this is gonna have to tear if it hasn't teared already. And it's one of those things where I don't even think it's gonna matter. I think the Lando, why in God's earth would you Terra Blast there? Did it not? Maybe I know why you're predicting Terra, but I guess that's also safe. You don't have to worry about a miss. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, point being is, by the way, gotta go straight Lando, because of Cosmic Power. Oh, it's faster. Oh, snap. That's not good. Ooh, you're losing that. Unless you get a crit. Uh-oh. Yeah, and so like will sets like this be will sets like this probably end up being too much? Like there's so many interesting questions. This set gets walled by Godango. Speaking of Godango, it's so good in this tier. I don't know why they clicked recover. It is what it is. Okay. But yeah, Godango with Balloon is so good. So underrated in this tier. Godango, let me tell you Godango, man. Oh man, Godango, chef kiss of Amon. Like it's annoying in OU, and I really can't stand it in OU. But in this tier, it's annoying, but I can stand it because of course we actually have ways to beat on balance. It's actually not ridiculously overwhelming. But as you can see, it's A, and it's A for a reason. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. What I'm on. But yeah, with Balloon, with Balloon is its best set. Like there really is. Choice Scarf's man. I've seen people run Choice Scarf. I get why you're in Choice Scarf because Vacian shoot Choice Scarf may even end up on a build of mine, but the reason why it hasn't is because one of the great things about Godango in his Choice Scarf is you're able to end up tricking if you're not gonna be that threatening and you shut down a Pokemon. But like, oh, you're banded? Oh, that's interesting. I've seen banded Terabot's ground. I honestly, as much as it pisses me off, I respect the set because it's a dumb mon. So mine as well. Like might as well make it to where it doesn't even have a switch in as a band. Like I understand. I may even try it myself. It's we'll see what Zacian does. Anyway, but yeah, back to Godango. So yeah, you can't trick Arceus. You can trick Magirna. You can't trick. I'm not gonna say that because they are run heavy duty boots. What else can't you trick? Arceus forms are a really big deal. You can't trick. What's something else that you can't trick? Oh, Zamazenta Hero. You can't trick. That's pretty good in the tier. There's something else I feel like I'm forgetting. That's like pretty important that you can't trick. Help me out in the comments. What am I forgetting that you can trick? Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Palkia O. You can't trick Palkia O. So, there's that. It's just a dumb one. Well, this is a really good game. Both are. I've been. Well, Ruben is on the council, and Nagal's like a really good player. Really good player in the tier. It's been like number 1 on the Dawn ladder. It was basically it was either if on the it was either Nagal or Uramas number 1. I just recently hit number 1 like the day before the tier like started here. Because I'm just like, well, let me get this number 1 real quick and go from there. Oh, that's so dumb. That's so dumb. It's so dumb. Wow, that killed through Pastro-Berry. That's crazy. Yeah, Palafin, ironically, Palafin's the reason why you run Rain. It's not because of Palkia Origin. That priority Jet Punch, Terra Water, and Rain is so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah, Palafin's so good. And I feel like not enough people have even used like the best Palafin set in that, the reason why I got banned from OU in bulk up, Jet Punch, Drain Punch. I feel like not enough people have used that. I'm not saying it's gonna be banned, but I'm not gonna add this to the list because I actually kind of would be surprised. Like I feel like the great thing is we have enough tools in this tier to adapt. But yeah, that's a really dumb set. Okay, back to the things that I would not be surprised if they're gone. I'm gonna put Arceus Dark, Arceus Poison. I mean, just Arceus in general. One of these forms, probably even 2 of them. I wouldn't be shocked if they're like gone. Again, if it happens, it happens. If it don't be surprised if Arceus form gets banned because it's an Arceus. Like this is just what they do. Like that's what I said when I first joined. Like I genuinely was surprised with the Arceus forms that were remaining. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, but I haven't played the tier. I see why they're still there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go. Let me see if there's anything else. Anything else that needs? Let me just. I better look at the viability. See, is there anything else that needs to? I mean, not needs to, because it's fine. I actually think that, ironically, I think Shito is actually balanced in the tier because there's so many ways to phase, so many viable roars. Like, you can't, like, the thing about OU was, oh, I gotta run this red card, or oh, I don't have that many phases, or I gotta run whirlwind on Tinglu. No, like, you actually have phasing options in this tier, like, and viable ones at that. So you can't really get that takeoff. Anything else? Dagla's honestly really dumb. Like, something I've noticed in building, and one of the reasons why I love Garchomp so much. Oh my god, love Garchomp. This is the team I got number 1 with. No, where is it? Yeah, this is the team I got. No, that's not the team. I'm tripping. There we go. This is the team I got number 1 with. And who got number 1 with? It was Pajooms that got number 1 a little earlier today with it. You know, early stages of the ladder. This team will make you fall in love with Garchomp again. It's so much fun to play a tier where I don't have to worry about an Amorous. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can use an Amorous in this tier, but then you're starting the game like 5-6. But it's such a fun. It's so fun to not have to worry about an Amorous. And yeah, I mean, this set's so good. There's so many matchups where they lead Palkia-O, or shoot, let's say they lead Magearna. They stay in. They click Flare Cannon. Great. Amazing. Magearna's now like 80%. And if they're not physically defensive, dead. If they go Palkia-O, oh my god. Fantastic. So cool. You do your attack, I live it. Now either you're dead or you're like at worst half HP and I got a speed boost. So these rocks are getting up. And you're going to be scared out most likely. You're going to have to switch up because you don't want your Palkia-O to die turn 2. It's a Palkia-O. Oh, let me tell you right now. Garchomp's back in this tier. I'll tell you that right now. Garchomp's so back. Man's just talking. Anyway. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, people are gonna try to abuse Whispering, but they're gonna, like, for example, as a spot that when I saw Spathos in the chair, I was like, that doesn't seem healthy. But honestly, it really is like the least of our worries. Honestly, as a tier, like, it's annoying. Don't get me wrong, and it, you know, things can get out of hand if you don't play a game properly, or like lose it in the builder. But nah, a spot there's like, it's whatever. It truly is whatever. If anything, one thing that this tier could experiment with is banning stored power, because unlike OU, I mean, because we've talked about this in the OU camps, but like, no one's really, not a lot of people accept it to, except me, Uzma, and then like, I think one more player, TVP, I think. If you remove store power from the tier, I feel like, you know, you can allow, for example, geared options to come back. That's a tier basket span too, but anyway, it just removes another dumb element, like easy ways to win games. Uncompetitive ways to win games just get removed off that very quickly if you just remove store power from the tier. So for example, in this tier, you could justify it more because you got a Spother that's around, you got Arceus. Big thing is Arceus, very, very prevalent, and then of course Magearna, you know, it's the most used Pokemon, so just limit its options, even though store power isn't even like the good set for Magearna in this tier. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you're not gonna go wrong if you win with it, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, they try to, like, Arceus, and that's my thing. Like, another thing that's really done by Arceus, of course, is that it can Terra into a Terra normal E-Speed. Now, I will say the Mon that uses it the best is Arceus Fire. Like, just strictly recover, E-Speed, Flare Blitz. Arceus Fire uses that the best without question because, I mean, of course, the most common ghost type is Gholdengo, so being able to get past that is a very big deal because, of course, if you ran Poison, you're going to be completely walled. If you run Dragon, it's not like, I mean, Dragon isn't good to begin with in a general speaking case. I was able to pull it off on this team, and God willing, I was able to pull it like, because Dragon isn't the most amazing one, but it's really good. It's honestly, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not gonna say underrated. It's an Arceus. You really can't go wrong with when an Arceus is on your team. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it really is just, that's just math. That's just simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. Let's see. Just checking messages that are coming in on Discord. Okay. Cube Band King is number 1 in the ladder right now, I believe, which is amazing, phenomenal. Congratulations to them. That's what we like to see. Training their whole life for this. So that's really good. That's really good. That's really good. I want to know what they used. Oh, Math, are you about to hit number 1 too? Math, the homie. Math, a trainer aid legend. Let me see. Let me type it in. Link me games if you get them. I want to watch. But yeah, this is a game where like Palafin was just. Are you kidding me? That's so stupid. You're just literally at the mercy. This is literally why I run Terra Water and not Terra Normal. I don't like. Don't get me wrong. I know why you run Terra Normal because Ursulune is dumb, but you really don't need it. I mean, you really don't. The only thing that Terra Normal changes, generally speaking, is an OHKO on bulky versions of Arceus. You're doing 85 no matter. So personally, I really like Terra Water, just so that doesn't happen. Too many times, too many games, Palkia O tried to come in, or even Palafin trying to revenge, and I'm like, goodbye. So, yeah, I'm really high on really high on running Terra Water on Ursulune. I think that's the best Terra without question. I don't really think you should. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't run normal, but it's not the greatest. Yeah, I hear you, Matt. But I mean, Matt, you have such disgusting Pokemon that have been versely disgusting for a while now, so this really should come at no surprise to you. Also, I feel like Volcarona is slept on kind of in the tier at this, even though that's scary. Even though I say that though, it's mainly just due to like, again, like Arceus Fire's like presence and Palkia, like, yeah, I really hope you don't start something with Volcarona. Like, cause it would be like, don't get me wrong, my teams aren't like weak to it, but well, let me check. I'm pretty sure they're not. Let me see. This version technically isn't. Oh no, this one definitely isn't actually. Yeah, this is like yum Volcarona. This one shouldn't in a good game lose to Volcarona. And this one also is yum Volcarona. Oh, that's not a team. I'm not gonna put a stamp on that team. And this is arguably probably the weakest team to Volcarona, and even then, it's not uber weak. I will say that it doesn't want to face Terra Fairy. That would be the most annoying version. But then again, I got outs. I ain't tripping. Point being is Volcarona is completely balanced in this tier. But this is going to be scary. Oh, I was expecting a Terra. Oh, are you water? In fact, if you're water, why the heck did you not sub? You Terra Water and then sub. That probably actually could have won you the game. Not math throwing. Why am I getting that? I don't know this person. Relax. Lando. This Lando is so interesting because honestly, if I could use T, I would. Like a lot of. Let me tell you, my Lando T's, it would be generational. Lando T would be so back. Like what? Lando T would be so back. And I'm probably over exaggerating how much I would use it, but I would very much appreciate it. But yeah, Lando I is okay. I don't find it to be really the greatest. It's okay. It's really okay. I mean, respectable mom, but it's okay. This is gonna tear. Yeah, this game is. And this is why she used okay for moments like that, because that did 0. It's crazy. Ironically, oh, that does so much. Okay, oh, I was expecting Iron Moth to come in this turn. Try to get the boost. Guess not. So, one thing for sure is Shifu Strikes comes in this turn, and it's gonna, get a kill, obviously. He's like, think so. I don't know. Arceus is dumb. I can't even say that confidently. Like, I would, if I was playing this game, I would be running so many calcs because Arceus is so dumb. Also, you don't know what type of bulk this is running. Oh my god, it's not gonna get the kill. Oh, it is gonna get the kill. Oh wow, that's crazy. I probably forgot the lowest. Probably would not have. Who's the best IPL team? That's a winning. It is definitely the Lures. I'm not gonna lie though, the Lures is pissing me off. Taking the piss. We already 0-2. Nah, we can't be 0-2. Come on now. It's not what I like to see at all. What? What are we doing? Oh, that crunch play. I get it, but dang. All right. So I don't know what the Darkiest is gonna do, but I assume it's gonna do dumb things. Oh, Speed Boost is gonna Calm Mind. Oh, it's foul play. Oh, does this lose? Why is it foul play? Huh? If this gets another boost, this is gonna be a good game for Arceus. What is this? What? Man, what type of Arceus is this? You're ruining it. You're ruining it. Why isn't this Calm Mind Judgment or something? I want to know what this Arceus actually is. I'm really curious. Especially on this type of team, I would think it'd be some offensive set. I was like, Occupy under G Train is a monster. It's so good. So I need some. Yeah, if you're playing games with it, please let me know and I will watch your games. Let me know what alt you're on and I will watch your games because I was thinking to myself, oh, with foul play, Dragon to recover. Interesting. What's that for mainly? I mean, listen, I'm not gonna knock it till I mean, yeah, but I will say it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I mean, but back to the G Train. Yeah, I mean, Agrippon and I can see it because there's no Corviknight to stop it. Mana Buzz usage is not the highest. Only thing that was kind of probably making me the most hesitant was like Arceus Fire usage and taking advantage of that, and then like most McGarren being maxed defense. But all that being said, I can see that core being generational because it does dumb things in OU sometimes. So I can see it doing some dumb things there. Oh, Dragonite, that makes sense. I can respect it. Yeah, Dragonite's dumb. Yeah, I can respect it. But honestly, too many people are sleeping on Dragonite. Don't get me wrong. You don't want to make a team like just straight loses to it, but like too many people are sleeping on Dragonite. It doesn't even make sense. It really doesn't. This is such an offensive tier that it just makes sense that you want to. Oh, okay. Not only is it such an offensive tier, but then you got Sun and Rain being so dominant. Why would you not run Dragonite? Like it helps. It fills in so many gaps, so many issues on a team. You can plug it in and help with that. So very big fan of Dragonite. Dragonite's a big fan. Dragonite is ranked, whatever it's ranked, it's disappointing. Yeah, B-. Yeah, that needs to go up to. I want to say A minus. We're gonna go with, yeah, probably A minus, either B plus A minus, but it's somewhere around that. It's somewhere around that. All right, bet man. No man, and I really appreciate you playing the tier, and I really hope to see your continued presence, man. It's good to see a good player like you in the tier, and just generally speaking, just seeing so many more people playing the tier actively. So many players that I know playing the tier. It's just good to see. It's good to see, and I really want people to respect it because it deserves the respect, and it's only going to get better from here as far as I'm concerned. Let me see. I wasn't really done with this. So yeah, one of the Arceus forms, ACN, Palkia, Chiyu. That may be it for me though. Okay. This one I'm gonna put Sneasel there. Wouldn't surprise me, but what I will say is it kind of hinges on if we get like an unaware back, because right now we don't have an unaware for it. So it's like objectively even more dumb. Let me put it to you this way. In OU, it has better setup opportunities, but better checks to it. Whereas this tier, it has less setup opportunities. Arguably, you can make your case. Arguably less setup opportunities, but if it does get that setup, it could be curtains. So hopefully that makes sense to you. You sleeping on the C-Rank? Yes, I'm definitely sleeping on the C-Rank. Yes, I will say when I faced it, it was really annoying, but I won, and I mean mainly just due to the fact that it just was so weak to rocks that it just couldn't win eventually just because of the rocks. But it was super annoying. I'm not gonna act like it because of Eviolite like its bulk just gets dumb. It's annoying, but those rocks, thank God it being weak to rocks, makes it manageable. But yeah, thankfully its typing is fire, not ghost, because then brother, it actually made it would probably that probably would be pretty good, honestly. It'd probably be like decent ranked, honestly. Okay, Emporio order. Where is the grassy terrain? I was promised grassy terrain. Disappointing. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any heat being used. Anyone using heat? Honestly, looking at all these people, it was at 100. It was over 100 members, users earlier. We'll see how how things look. It may need its own room, but we'll see. We gotta. I will say at first I was like, it's definitely gotta get its own room. I mean, but we'll see. It's good to see activity. I mean, it's good to see unofficial metas like having good members. Because right now, like with the members, if it like at over 100, it basically has only a couple rooms, and these are tiers that have been around for forever, basically with more usage. Only a tier that's, I guess that would technically, of course, because some people are here for other tiers as well, but like only quote unquote unofficial tier that would be up in the big dog ranks. So yeah. I remember facing Weatherball, which I don't really get why people use personally, because of there's so many different weathers in this tier, so you have to do it continuously getting switched. But I remember facing that earlier today when I was trying to test to see if the Hippo team, like how I felt about the Hippo team still, and because I was kind of getting shaky confidence wise, and one of my accounts was like, I'm not sure if it's good, and of course no, I still think it's like good, but is it great? And I only like to give out great teams. And the reason why I say like it's good because it's like, and not great because one, everything needs boot spam on it. So and that's really annoying. For example, for the Garg, because when you're so used to using Garg with leftovers, and then you start using a Garg without leftovers, you start to really notice, oh, you really need leftovers. It's okay. I mean, it literally is only terror, water, max defense because of like Palkia. I mean, of course, um, Godango is dumb, so like that's an added component to it. But let me tell you right now, you really do miss those leftovers. But yeah, I mean, it gets the job done. I mean, it's really good at getting the job done. Pink Cross used it in their game and won. It took 100 plus turns, but it won. I mean, that team's gonna, generally speaking, just wear opponents' teams down. It's gonna take a minute, but it's gonna get the job done, and that's what it did. So, and people were giving me, compliments today, like, "Oh, I really like that Simple team." So, I mean, I appreciate it, and I think it's probably the best you can do for Sand to begin with, like as far as team building. I don't think you can really make a better. Yeah. See, Sneasler's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Let's see. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I thought this would be and see, this is why I don't like. See, that's literally why I like Trick. I'm just like, it's so easy to block. But what I will say is, how did this get out of hand? Oh, I see. What? For cover? I mean, I understand why you go for recover there. That did nothing. This is such a dumb mon. This is so. Wait, what? Yeah, I mean, okay. So what I'll say is, that just sucked. That's just a bad matchup. But yeah, Sneasler, really dumb, And see, what did I say? This is why. Okay, this is the official, probably dumb. We can call this the probably dumb list. Chi-Yu, Palkia, Zacian, Arceus, whichever form you want to choose, and Sneasler. That's the probably dumb list. And Chi-Yu isn't leading it off either, by the way. Chi-Yu's in the back and Sneasler's in front of it. Chi-Yu's probably like the least of our problems, but it's on the list still and on the list. This is such a tough mon, man. Oh my god. Oh, the GOAT! Hey, the GOAT. The reason why this is possible, man. The GOAT. You gotta tap in for the GOAT. Kind's using his Trick Room team. See? What did I say? Zacian comes in. Technically, you can scare Zacian out, but Zacian is gonna click SD no matter what, and then just start doing things. Another thing that's dumb about Zacian is his bulk. Like, it's already absurd speed, already absurd attack. If its bulk was just a little, why couldn't they have made its bulk, like, I don't know, 90 defense, 100 special defense? No. They had to make Zacian's bulk 115 defense, 115 special defense. The thing just took it down a notch. Just took it down a little notch. Such a dumb one. As you can see, Ursaluna is doing ridiculous thing. And that's another thing. Ursaluna is so good in this tier. But honestly, it does mess up certain things when it comes to, building. But it's great. It's really good. And as far as I'm concerned, pretty fair. I really like it. Ursa's gonna thrive in any tier that Trick Room is viable in. I mean, we saw that even when Ursa Blood Moon was in the tier that Trick Room was around a bit. But I will say Blood Moon is not as good as in this tier. Like, it's funny that just the fact that Blood Moon isn't able to not isn't able to, but just has that turn where like it's just dead. Like it can't do anything is really important. It really matters. So it doesn't pop off on a ton of matches. But don't take this as me saying it's not good, because it's still very scary, and I've seen it win games. It almost won a game versus me when I was testing out this team. Like, it's still very scary, and very threatening of a mon. Like, you can mess around and get 6-0 by it. Like don't get it twisted. Respect greatness. Respect greatness. See? Look at this. Oh my god. I will say, is Palkia gonna win? Oh, goodbye. I think Palkia's gonna win. Oh, actually, it needs to hit the Fire Blast because special runs out, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, Ursa's so interesting. Like, Ursa's okay, thankfully, because I mean, of all the other reasons, it's, it has to run guts. It has to run the flame orb, so it's always coming into hazards. Oh, does that kill? Wow, Palkia. Yeah, Palkia is really stupid. So, nothing new there. Nothing new there. Nothing new there. I'll say that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I've been on stream. How long have I been on stream? Definitely been over an hour, but how long? Hour 16. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna hop off. If anyone has any questions before I dip for the evening. As I said, I'm under the weather, so I'm honestly happy I was able to last as long as I did. But yeah. Pajumas, Legend with Rain. Trying to make Overquill a thing. Really needs to relax, because it is never going to be a thing. Honestly, if anything, we need to bring. I don't know. I hope people abuse Houndstorm so we can just easily like ban Last Respect. I mean, we should ban it anyway, but make it even easier. Just ban Last Respects and then just go from there. Like, I'm so interested in this not being injected. Let me tell you, I had Nagal's idea, but I think he executed it better than me. Why would you? Wow. Woo. That's crazy. Yeah, I just simply, how do I put this? I feel like I executed the best. And I think he's done a better job. Was also done. So yeah, no, Psychic Train's dope, and I think it's a fantastic, viable playstyle. I think they pulled it off very nicely. My physical defense Darkiest took 50 from the last Mon Terraglass. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really, well, I mean, it is the baby form, but still, I mean, that's still a lot. Zacian terrain is broken. Yeah, I can see that being the case, not being able to revenge that, especially Terra Ground. You can't even go with the Jet Punch. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, as I said, a lot of we're still gonna. This is actually pretty funny, because this is actually a threat in this game. It's very rarely a threat, but depends what Terra. I was gonna say, because yeah, this actually can just win. Oh, you go Terra Fire? But why would you need to resist the glide if you're in Psych terrain? It's not touching you anyway. Oh, no, because it breaks it. I'm tripping. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. It breaks it. Yeah, you're right. You go Terra. You're right. You go Terra Fire. Yeah. You're right. I'm tripping. Sounds good. Why is this Iron Head? What? Yeah. I'm tripping, Rash. It's one of them slow moments. It's one of the moments where, as I said, I need to hop off. I will say one thing that's really annoying about grassy glide is like, especially when you're using second terrain, is when even when you take away the grassy terrain, it lit? Oh, that's so funny. But anyway, when you take away the I was gonna say, when you take away the when you take away the grassy terrain, it's still doing damage. It's so annoying. Oh no, is this hippo have a chance to do something? Oh, what? I wonder, can I think they actually can win. I think they will win if everything goes as it well. Yeah, actually, yeah. I think it depends on what is that Garg. Oh yeah, no. Why would you recover? Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, why would you ever recover? Well, it's gonna work out now. I was just saying, because like if that shell smashes again, it's like you're losing a mod for no reason. Just go for Saw Cure again. Yeah, it's starting to get loud here. Yeah, I knew this was eventually gonna happen. As I said, I'm right next to him, so yeah, I'm gonna hop off. As I said, if you guys got if anyone wants to ask one last question before I hop off, do let me know, and please smash that like button. I really appreciate you guys for being here. It's been a blast talking with you guys and just having a good talk. And just fun, with the what's going on, man? This is so interesting. But I guess yeah, Hippo's the best sand. Like it, as I said, man, we're gonna probably end up having a discussion on Stone, like on Stone, like in Last Respects in general. Like we're probably gonna end up having a discussion. I just realistically, I don't see it. Also, I can't imagine it being fun to ladder right now. And like on the objectives being like, if you lose a game, you're losing like 50 points. You win a game, like it was like that, of course, on on Dawn, but it's not. It's I feel like it's kind of in hyperdrive because like you can actually get a lot of games. Like how many games is the Garbage Man play? Let's see, ranking. Yeah, I played 33 already today. It only hit third. As the ladder gets established, it'll be easier. But as I said, I just can't find it fun right now. Anyway, it's your boy NJNP. I'm out. Peace. Shout out to the gang.